Representative Parker, there's been some news in Oregon about a bill that's moving through the legislature down there about Medicaid fraud that you originally sponsored in Washington that was hailed as one of the largest reform bills. Tell me about that bill.
It was a bill that cut down on Medicaid fraud. As a lot of people know, Medicare fraud, the national program, has received a lot of attention nationally. Estimates show that Medicare fraud nationally could be between 20 and 30%, and we're seeing those same fraudulent behaviors now invade the Medicaid systems, which are of the states. And so this was an attempt to work with the algorithms and to shut down fraud on Medicaid. The bill is simply like this. When you pull up to a gas station and you pump gas into your vehicle, you have to put in your zip code. It's all based on algorithms. It's proactive rather than reactive. The bill is taking that concept of what financial institutions do and use those same mechanisms to prevent fraud now in our government.
How much fraud is there and who's committing the fraud?
Well, Malcolm Sparrow, who testified in front of the Congressional Committee, who comes out of Harvard, estimated several years ago he believed the fraud to be at 20 or 30%. Later writings of his suggest that it could be much higher than that it's just an estimate, but we know that the fraud's pretty significant. It's taken by three groups. One, there are some doctors, like any profession, there's a few that make some bad decisions. Organized crime has really attached themselves to Medicare, Medicaid fraud. And then petty thieves, people who used to steal cars are now stealing identities and so forth. So it's been very interesting on those three groups coming around.
I understand there are other states considering similar legislation.
Ironically, this state senator out of Oregon who called and told me that the bill is up for hearing earlier this week told me that he believes that there are 36 states that are duplicating this legislation. I do know of some out there. We have been contacted by a couple states, but I didn't realize the number is 36. I've not confirmed that, but it wouldn't be surprising because it is a way that the state can save an enormous amount of money.
How much money does this type of legislation save?
We're not sure exactly, but we know it will all be predicated on the level of fraud. If there's 5% fraud, if there's 10%, if there's 15, 20, or 30, that will determine what level. But the estimates are believed to be somewhere around 200 to 300 million, and some estimates are considerably higher. We just don't know how much fraud is taking place, but we know the savings should be pretty significant. It was significant enough last year to where the governor's office was very interested in this bill.